Go! Hey, go!
If he was paying attention, he could just say the car in front of him stopped.
Yeah, 100%. Boys, I have no idea what the hell I'm looking at.
Pontiac. Saturn.
What? Bro, it's torque steering all over the road down there. That was crazy.
Cross our fingers. Hopefully I have some AC in this thing. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We got AC. Woo! And pretty much how I got home was once I'd overheated it, I was able to get it started back up, and I pulled onto the breakdown lane, called the tow truck, and of course with it being so low, even if I use a flatbed, it's gonna scrape the hell out of the front lip and tear up the wrap on here. And so I ended up sitting there for about 45 minutes, and after checking the coolant level and stuff, like I said, I ended up just trying to start it. Fired right up. I said, okay man, I'm leaving that AC off. So I kept the AC off, and I got back on the freeway. I took the toll road so that I'd miss all the heavier traffic at that time of the evening. And I noticed my temperature was crawling past the halfway mark, and I know, and I had my gauges, my little display set up, and I said, man, by now that fan should have come on. Why is my temperature continuing to climb? And so I pulled over real quick, left the engine running, got out, popped the hood, felt down for the fan wasn't working. That didn't necessarily mean it was a fan. It just could have been a relay, could have been something up. I had an issue with the AC before. And I don't know if I remember telling you guys or not, but whenever I did that whole wire harness where I put the new loom stuff on it, I found some damaged wires. I repaired them. I didn't really know which connector they went to at the time because I had it all sitting on a heap on the fender, and I couldn't tell which one went where easily. But I think I might have fixed it because it was working fine. I was in that car for about 30 minutes up until that moment that it happened, and I was having AC, and I was rejoicing. Man, I felt so good. And so what I did was I called my son, but I was on a tollway, and getting on that tollway off the main road, you got to go way down past. He came to me anyway, but I told him in the meantime, I'm going to let it cool down. I have the hood up, and I'm on the toll, so it's not too busy that time of night at all. And it's got pretty big wide breakdown lane. And so I let it cool down. I get in it, start it, go as far as I thought it was safe to do, about till it got to a little bit past the halfway mark. Turn it off, did the same thing, repeated. Finally got home at 9 at night, and I left work at 6. So he actually caught up to me at some point. He followed me, make sure everything was okay. He had brought a tow strap, but on my Tacoma, for whatever reason, that thing don't have anywhere where I could hook the little hook for the tow strap on there to strap tow me. So anyway, it was kind of pointless for him to come out there. But so anyway, made it back home. I started up since then, starts up fine, runs fine. I suspect once I get the fan on there, the AC will work okay as well. If not, then I'll go ahead and warranty out the compressor, get a new one on there. Maybe I heard it when this happened, I don't know. But we'll find out. All right, well, culprit's found. At first I thought it was a bad fan relay or something else going on. That's out of there. I power probed the fan that I had in there, and it wouldn't power up. This is a fan that's off of, most of the time you'd see them on like V8s. It's called a Flexolite. This part number here is supposed to put out 2950 CFM, which I know it's much better than the factory fan, because the before and after when I put it on a decade ago was there's a lot of difference. And so you can see that the motor's bad, I suppose, but you can see maybe the bearing is kind of going out. It's wobbling out pretty badly. So these are aluminum fins on this thing. Of course, the stock fan is plastic. And I looked at other plastic options. This is a 14-inch fan. And the reason I go with a 14-inch, I could go with a bigger fan, but I would have to mount it to the radiator with one of these like factory brackets that fan comes with. And a lot of people don't know this, but the reason it cools so well is because you have this fan shroud that is basically covering the entire face of your radiator, and it's forcing air to be sucked in to this vortex here to where it aids in cooling. If you just put one of these on there, air does suck through it, but a lot of the radiator on this side and that side doesn't have air pulled through it, so they really don't cool all that well. So, yes, it's hokey. It was done on a budget, but it lasted me for a decade through all the use of. I had my regular T25 on there and all the other variants of turbos I had up to now. And this is more or less just a wheel spacer is what it is. And I drilled holes in it because I needed something to brace it on this side, because on the opposite side of the fan, you have these 4 ears here, and I just used some Allen head bolts. You can see how far they go down, and they interface right here with a nut and a washer. And then of course I run the wiring up through in this hole here. And this time around I went ahead, for right or wrong, I put this heat reflective coating on this to help maybe preserve the motor a lot longer, because you have all that radiant heat coming off the header onto here, and that's got to shorten the life of the fan. And I don't think it hurts the cooling of it at all, because the air blowing through here is hitting the other side of the fan. So you're having heat stopped coming this way and air allowed to come this way and cool the back side of the fan motor, which I would suspect keeps it cooler. We'll find out. The only difference between this one and the one I had is these fins are black as opposed to the silver. I don't care either way. I'm just happy I found the same fan, because these do cool really well. I've already power probed it. I know it works. I power probed that one and I know it don't work. So this is our problem. That's why I broke down coming back with my AC on, because if you know or you don't know, whenever you have your AC on, the fan is on all the time. Whereas if you don't have it on, it only comes on around 220, 221, cools it down to 217, 216, something like that. Turns off, and then it waits till it gets hot again, turns on, turns off. So hopefully I didn't hurt my compressor. I did stall out, and the engine wouldn't crank over or anything. What was really blowing my mind is the fuel pump wouldn't cut on. My oil return pump wouldn't cut on. I was like, what in the heck happened? So I sat there for a few minutes. Of course, everybody was real happy about that. Finally got it to start, but it was idling pretty poorly, and I thought I really did jack the motor up. So I pulled over real quick. After it set for about 45 minutes, I got out and I popped the coolant reservoir. I said, well, man, I must have overheated. I know I have a seepage leak at the end tank on this radiator here. Very small, crusty kind of buildup. But the radiator level in here, it's fine. So I was like, man, what could it have been, you know? Well, turns out that the fan stopped with the AC on, the head pressure's building up. I don't know why it didn't cut out. This is not the compressor for this car. It's off of a later year model. You can tell because the high pressure hose here should be running more parallel with the low side, and it's not. It comes out this way. If you run it, the reason I did this is because this is a new aftermarket compressor, where it seemed like every time I was hunting for a compressor from like the standard places, it was always a remanufactured where they just basically rebuild it, spray paint it, you know, it looks terrible. So this is a new unit from UAC. That part number is a Charlie Oscar 10723 Charlie. And again, it's from UAC. I don't know if you can read that or not. Of course, our friends in China made that for us. So I'm hoping, now that I have the fan swapped, I'm going to stab it up in here. And then the proof is in the pudding. As soon as I turn on the AC, as long as that fan comes on, we're golden again. I should be able to enjoy AC. I did notice, for whatever reason, when I got out, I noticed some little droplet sheens. You can see it kind of shiny here and shiny there. I wonder if maybe the pressure port right here paid off a little bit. That's possible. I did see a little whiff of smoke coming out, so that is possible. So hopefully it's okay. If not, I can warranty it out. But we'll see what happens. So the fan's working, AC's working. You can see it sweating pretty good. It's dripping. There inside is cold. The reason the fan wasn't working immediately. Found a fuse blown in there, replaced it. I'm having an issue though. If I leave that connector plugged in on the compressor, I can turn the car off, turn the AC off. It still gets power, and if the engine's running, it's turning, it's engaged, the clutch is engaged, so I got to figure that out. So every time I get out, I got to take that off of there, unplug it. But we got AC and stuff for now. I've got my first car show I'm going to tomorrow. I don't think I'm showing because I couldn't get pictures in for the entry, but I'm just doing some interior cleaning, and I'll take it out and wash it here in a little bit. So I've been letting it sit here and run for a while to try to get past the time frame that I was driving home and then something bad happened. So right now the temperature outside, it's about 99 degrees, and a good operating system is anything like 30 degrees below ambient. Now it depends on temperature, humidity, and all that good stuff, but I'm happy with that. Now I am sitting in the garage, but so you would say, okay, well, it's going to be cooler for that reason, and that's true, but I'm also not moving, and air needs to be washing across the condenser to get your max temps down. But still, I'm running 65 degrees, 64, and going a little bit lower actually, 63, 62, wow, 61, 60, 59. So we'll stop there, but just suffice to say, I'm trying to be cautious. My temp is right where you would think it would be with the AC on and the fan running continuously. That's actually a little bit cooler than what I had seen it before, so I guess the new fan is, doing a little bit better job of cooling. But it looks like we're going to be okay. I've got it idling now past the time that I had it on the road, so I think I'm going to be okay. My son's going with me to the car show tomorrow, so he's not going to be here to save me. So yeah, I did end up finding a tow truck service that specializes in very low cars. I'm sure it's going to be more expensive, obviously, but at least I don't have to worry about, if I got to get towed, I won't have to worry about dragging the front and all that good stuff.